trace it forever. So open up your heart, let a true love come right in. 'Cause love is all we need to make us stand. Let's understand one another and learn to live together as brothers and sisters. Without togetherness, we won't have a peace of mind. Let's celebrate and have a peaceful home. Sweet Liberia, land of liberty is our home. Let us keep it standing. It's the one and only home that we have. Sweet Liberia, land of liberty is our home. Let us keep it standing. It's the one and only home that we have. Sweet Liberia, love is all we need to make it stand. Let's celebrate and have a peaceful home. Love is all we need to make it stand. Let's celebrate and have a peaceful home. Sweet Liberia, land of liberty is our home. Let us keep it standing. It's the one and only home that we have. Sweet Liberia, land of liberty is our home. Let us keep it standing. It's the one and only home that we have. Sweet Liberia, love is all we need to make it stand.
Ready.
Afternoon. Welcome again to the second press briefing from the senatorial by-election here in Nimba County. Members of the Board of Commissioners, Madam Co-Chairperson, fellow colleagues of the media, let me welcome the Chairperson of the National Elections Commission who will address this press briefing at this time. Madam Chairperson.
Thank you very much. On behalf of the National Elections Commission, let me welcome you once again to this second press briefing here in Saniquale City Hall following the conduct of Tuesday's 22nd April 2025 Nimba County senatorial by-election. Fellow Liberians, the people of Nimba County, I am delighted to announce that the Nimba County senatorial by-election has successfully and peacefully ended without any report of violence. Thanks to the people of Nimba County for the peaceful manner in which they turned out today to vote for a candidate of their choice who will represent them in the Liberian Senate to replace the late Senator Prince Y. Johnson. The polls, which opened this morning at 8 a.m., has now closed minutes ago across Nimba County. What we cannot report is if the turnout was low or high. But I guess in the future, in a few days, we may be able to determine, as there has being the registered number of voters of 307,254 persons who were registered voters, we anticipated that they would participate in this election. We can only do this, meaning that we can only know whether that amount or that population participated when the counting and other processes are over. Fellow Liberians, the people of Nimba County, as of the report of this press release briefing, our legal section has informed the Commission that it has received no complaints from anyone regarding the process. Finally, the Commission extends thanks to the Liberia National Police and other security agencies for the level of security provided to the senatorial by-elections in Nimba County. We also say thanks to the government of Liberia for providing the funding for the conduct of this by-election. And to the donor community, we say thanks for your support. We also like to appreciate the Liberian media, including various community radios across Nimba County, for the coverage of the senatorial by-election. Members of the press, the Commission assures all Liberians, mainly the people of Nimba County, stakeholders, and electoral actors, that the NEC will continue to work with you to the successful conclusion of the senatorial by-election. On this note, let me, on behalf of the Commission, extend an open invitation to all stakeholders, the media, local and international observer groups, political parties, to witness the tally process beginning tomorrow, Wednesday, 23rd April 2025. The tally process will be conducted at 2 magisterial offices in Nimba. That's at Sanikwele and Tapita. We will now take your questions, should you have any.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Branda Sanan, Chairperson, and members and commissioners of the Board of NEC. My name is Sheldon S. Gondor. Once again, I report for Women Voices newspaper and that of Radio Nimba here in Saniko래. The public is concerned based on the resumption of tally processing tomorrow, whether the team of commissioners will be based here in Saniko래 to provide an update or will go to the headquarters of NEC.
In our first press briefing, we announced that daily at 1 p.m. and 6 p.m., the Commission will be releasing preliminary results from the Nimba senatorial by-elections here at this venue. Let me also say that at this venue, the Board of Commissioners will be represented, but at the tally process, they will not be there. The tally process will be held under the aegis of the magistrates with the technical staff that know how to do this work. They will be the one conducting that process, not the Board of Commissioners.
Thank you. I'm Sarah Costin, Marriage Union from Focus on Liberia. I want to know, were there any challenges faced by NEC while conducting the by-election in Nimba County?
I wouldn't say these were challenges. I would say that it's normal that during the conduct of these by-elections that sometimes it is difficult to deploy materials to faraway areas, but thank goodness that we were able to do that. So we don't see any particular challenge that actually affected or prevented the process from going on. As it is now, the process did happen. It went on, and Liberians who are Nibadians went to the polls and they exercised their franchise for those candidates that they wanted to vote for. Yes.
So thank you. I'm Yeke Kwaita. I report for Punch FM, Punch TV Live. My role here. I got a concern when it comes to the polling center, the prison center in Yekepa. I think it's all Yekepa regulation building. Did the National Elections Commission see that building before considering it as a polling center? Because from what we observe, and we got photos and videos in our possession, the building, as around 3 o'clock this afternoon, we arrived in Yekepa, the building is dark. The place you see copper parts, just like I don't know, warehouse or whatever. Did the national election were forced to conduct election in that kind of building?
Let me say that we have challenges, yes. That is one, that could be one of them. Prior to elections, we do assessment of the various precincts. We get to know that they are okay for us to use. And then on election day, we go there to conduct our business, which is the voters coming in to cast their votes. And like you say, if we go there and we meet, as you're saying, the different things that looks like it's a home and somebody is cooking or what have you, then of course we probably would have asked them to put aside their utensils or what have you, and we conduct the elections there. Some things we are in control of, other things we're not in control of. One of the things we're in control of is that precincts that are set up that we use as a polling place, we have control over them. And the elections did happen at that location. One of the problems that could have happened if we had decided to leave that area where you have the pots and pans as you're suggesting, to find another location probably would have been very difficult for the voters when they come in and then they have to go to another location to have, to do their voting. So some things we have to bear with because the commission does not have its own infrastructure that is so huge and cost intensive to have our own infrastructure to be able to conduct elections or voter registration in those places. So we use the infrastructure that is available to us, meaning that schools and sometimes churches, malls also within the vicinity of those institutions, we conduct by-elections and general elections. So this is just one case that you are speaking about, which does not vitiate that it cannot happen to other places. But we take the measures to make sure that these elections are held in a place comfortable enough for voters to come in and cast their votes.
Madam Chairperson, my name is Momo Samuel Kakane, and I report for Strong FM and Strong TV Liberia. My concern has to do with polls have closed by 6 p.m. today, and tallying will take up to 10, 11, if possible midnight. How will the ballot boxes be transported from the various centers? Will they be under the auspices of party observers, or how will the process be in terms of monitoring the transportation process?
Let me say to you that polls are closed, yes, at 6 o'clock. And usually what happens, the polling staff will pack everything, and then there's a retrieval of those ballot boxes and what have you to the central location, which is the magisterial offices, where in the conference rooms they will receive these materials, and then the next day, which will be tomorrow, the 23rd, they will conduct the tally process. This retrieval is an immediate action after any elections that will happen. And what was your last concern?
It has to do with the monitoring aspect of the ballot boxes from the various centers.
And so let me say that we have the Liberia National Police that has been working with the Commission in all of these processes. They are available, and I'm sure many of you have seen them. They escorted the materials here to Nimba County, in Tapita and Saniquile in our warehouses, and they have remained on the ground to secure them. They have also been deployed to the various precincts and polling places. So on the retrieval, they get to escort these materials along with our staff to the magisterial offices at Tapita and Saniquile. So you can rest assured that these materials are being protected by the Liberian National Police, including our own security at NEC.
Thank you, Madam. My name is Anthony Williams. I work for State Radio. Speaking of being rest and short, I just wanted you to provide some clarity. And speaking of transparency, regarding the tallying process, I know of the NEC's credibility. You've held several elections, but I want you to just throw some lights on the tallying center. Speaking of the presence of observers, political party agents, how will it will be done? You know, will we have like previous elections where you have international observers on the panel? You also have political party agents. I want you to throw some light on the tallying process. I also want to join my colleague and throw some light on the issue of transportation of the ballot boxes, because I know Nimba County, especially speaking of hard to reach places. I've been to Bidoro. I know how difficult it is to go over there and to and fro. So you can throw light more on the transparency aspect of the tallying process. Thank you.
You have just said much with respect to the transparency aspect. And I would just add that during the tally process, as you have rightly said, you have local as well as international observers who will be there. You have the party agents. And if I'm going against what is the norm, the operations department is also there. And we also have the commissioner who is chair for the Nimba Senatoray steering committee. Perhaps he may want to add, or any commissioner may want to add. But I think specifically, everything is in place. This is something that has happened repeatedly. The commission has conducted elections for the last, I don't know how many years, and the processes are manned by individuals who have integrity, and they will exhibit that during the process. The tally process is within full view of everybody. There's nothing to hide there. And where there may be challenges of some figures or additions or subtractions, they are handled right there in the tally center before the finalization of anything, before the final results are even conveyed to the Board of Commissioners for announcement. So you will be around, and you will be the one to tell the Liberian people that the Elections Commission tally process was indeed free and fair, and there were testimonies from the party agents as well as from the observers or monitors who will be around to see how the process goes. Yeah.
Madam Chair, David Menger from the Liberian Investigator. This afternoon, I came in contact with a group of young people who said they've traveled from Monrovia and they were recruited, allegedly recruited by the National Elections Commission to come and serve as elections officers. But upon arrival, they've noticed that some other people have occupied the post probably they would have occupied. And they claim that they are stranded because they've expected that you would have taken care of them. How are you addressing this thing?
Firstly, to say that any issue of such needs to be investigated, and we have our team on ground to do that investigation. With respect to them being stranded, again, it has to be investigated. How did they come? Whether in fact their names were listed, or as we say in Liberian way, whether they were promised that they were on the list. All of these things will have to be researched. So I would not, or the commission cannot say emphatically to you that what they are saying is true, and we cannot even deny that whether, you know, what they are saying is untrue. But there has to be some kind of investigation, because we know that it became a viral situation. Everybody is calling to find out what has happened to these people. But we ourselves have to know what the truth is. And when we get to know what the truth is, then we deal with it.
So my name is Archie Sebobiyene, and I report for Blaze FM and TV.
Thank you. Let me say to the investigator we can say that when the recruitment portal is placed for recruitment, do not have control over who apply and where they come from. What we do know is that the recruitment portal requires you as a Liberian to work for Elections Commission. So in this by-election, we have 3,905 voting staff. So wherever you come from, when you go to the training, and we do a buffer of training personnel, and then when the listing come out, we don't know where you come from. We don't have time for where you come from. All we need from you is that you must be qualified and a Liberian to vote, to apply and vote and to work in the electoral process. So to say that they are stranded, they come from over, we don't know them. There is no database in our system say you come from over, because all those who apply, the 9,000 persons that apply for the process to work for Elections Commission, they apply as Nimbadians. So when we're looking at them, we're looking at them as Nimbadians. So the buffer is that when you are qualified, you go on the short listing, and you are qualified to work for Elections Commission, you are working for Elections Commission. And now that you come from anywhere and say you are stranded, because it could be someone came from America. So what do? So we don't see people coming from different countries, but we know that indeed that the Elections Commission will recruit people to work for that electoral process. And on that note, when you are qualified on the process, you are contracted to work for the National Elections Commission on the basis of tallying. We don't do tallying at the polling centers. Tallying is done at the Ministerial office. So all the 7 candidates, they are being informed that tallying will start tomorrow at 9 o'clock. And we encourage all of them to send their party agent to the Ministerial offices to ensure that we know that we have 100 local, international, and local observers in this process, both from Leon, ECC, and WENET. They are also in the process. We have international partners who are very supportive of the process. They are also observing the process. So in the tallying process tomorrow at the Ministerial office in Sanikole, and let me also inform you that in Sanikole we have 3 tallying centers. And in Tapeta we have 2 tallying process centers there. So on that note, we can ensure and we want to encourage all of them to send their party agent, their observer to the tallying process, because it will start at 9 a.m. because we intend to ensure that we announce results at 1 p.m. and 6 p.m.
So the game.
Let me say the Elections Commission is under obligation to know what has happened when it comes to those persons who are claiming to have been registered through the portal and who are claiming to have been shortlisted. We need to know what has happened. And this investigation will go on.
So again, my name is Archie, report for Blaze, radio and TV. There have been a series of social media reports concerning violence in places like Campley and other parts of Nimba. I want to know whether these concerns have reached the election commissions, and as it relates to the security of the ballots, because we observed in previous elections in places like District Number 4, some of those towns where re-elections were being conducted, ballot boxes were thrown in rivers and other things. So what is the security of the ballot boxes as it relates to that?
We are working along with the Liberia National Police to help the commission to secure the process, as we said before. On retrieval, our vehicles will go there and take the materials along with the NEC staff to bring them to the magisterial offices. In our process, we are escorted by the Liberia National Police. They are still on ground, and they are going to take this process in the way how they have done before to bring them to the magisterial office. So we say the process is secured until something happens. We don't want to start looking at the difficulty when in fact it has not happened. It's a good thing to remind us of what has happened before, but we cannot say that because it happened before, it will happen again. Until it happens, we will have remedial measures to ensure that these ballot boxes are intact. If it happens, there are also measures to ensure retrieval or to get these persons under the law for having taken our ballot boxes when they, in fact, should not have done that. What was your other question, please?
Visual violence reported in place in the camp.
We've heard a lot of things, reports from you, the media, about, small things happening here, small violence here, altercations, people attacking each other verbally. But what we have learned from the magistrates, and even from some of your radio stations and some of the partners, is that this whole campaign and the election was generally peaceful. Generally peaceful does not mean that some things may not have happened, but did they prevent the election from going on? We say no. The elections did happen. Now, whatever may have happened that you have information about, I'm sure the police was on top of it to resolve those issues. So let's look at the positives that have come out of the conduct of this process. And we want to be assured that the police done its job, and that if there was anything other than ordinary, they would take cognizance of that and to address that under their institution. Yeah.
Madam Commissioner, my name is Samson Monsire and I report for the closing argument. Few minutes ago, two of the aspirants, Madam Ide Kongowei and Mark Bayon, appeared on closing argument, raising few concerns. One, they spoke about some irregularity as it relates to one of your POS. One of your PO from Complete were caught with ballot paper. Two, they talk about duplication of voting card. Can you speak to that?
This is something that we're just hearing, and until it reaches the Elections Commission, we may not be able to comment until we have sufficient information.
Yes, please. Okay. Madam Commissioner, my name is Daniel, and I report for Cool 91.9 FM in Monrovia. So my concern is, how prepared is NEC to pay temporary staff, especially considering the challenges you've just mentioned? And we've seen several instances in the past where after completing the work, staff have misdirected or delayed in receiving their payments.
I'm informed by the finance section under the Secretariat that the $2 million that the Elections Commission has received, part of which is the payment for temporary staff, they will get their pay. We usually go via mobile money to do that because of the number. They have to be uploaded to the platform, and it takes a few days for them to be able to conclude with the GSM companies for them to be able to take their pay. So we will implore them to wait for that time to receive their pay. It's impossible, near impossible, for the conclusion of the election at this hour, at 6 o'clock, to pay temporary staff at 6 o'clock. It's impossible. But we say the payment is there, the money is there. We don't have to go look for money to pay them. They just need to wait a little bit for the process, the processing of the payment, to be able to send it to their mobile money accounts.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the Board of Commissioners.
Yes,
Thank you.
let me just make a correction here, please. In our first press briefing, there was a question asked to the effect that the question says, polling staff needed to call out the names of voters before they voted. And initially I had thought it wasn't a problem. In other words, it was permissible. But I've been guided by the legal, through research, that I should read to you what the law says. So give me a chance, I will do that. To answer that question, the law says, voting in person, identification of voter. Every person offering to vote at a polling place in any voting precinct during any election shall state his full name and produce his registration card. If so requested by the next presiding officer, the voter shall state all particulars necessary for identifying his name as appeared on the registration roll under which the vote is claimed. The next presiding officer or one of his assistants shall verify on the register that the voter is registered and has not already voted at the particular election involved. So basically, we're answering a question that the law already addresses that. In other words, the presiding officer takes control of what happens in there with respect to what the law says in his interaction or her interaction with the voter who comes with their voting card, to say their name and what have you. Thank you.
Thank you. See you tomorrow, 1 o'clock, please.
Let us keep it
Know what is going on when we gather again tomorrow.